Verb Technologies is a live stream social commerce platform connecting brands, influencers, and retailers with a global audience. But the company also has an announcement about a crypto treasury. So with me is Executive Chairman Manuel Stotz. Welcome. Great to have you here. I can't wait to hear about this announcement. I'll let you tell what we're doing, and then we'll delve a little deeper into it.
Fantastic, Jane. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah.
So my name is Manny. I'm the executive chairman of Verb Technologies. We just made an announcement last week for a $558 million common equity pipe and pivoting the business strategy to a digital asset strategy. And I know you probably are bored by now hearing from crypto digital asset strategy companies, but this is different. This is different for three reasons. Number one, TON, our asset, the digital asset, the open network, is the layer one blockchain that has been distributed by Telegram. You probably would have not heard of TON. You probably have heard of Telegram. But Telegram has over 1 billion monthly active users. It is the number 2 messaging app in the world after WhatsApp. And it is the default messaging app for the entire crypto industry. And this company now is the only way to effectively get exposure to the dynamism, the growth of Telegram. The first billion is the hardest in my humble experience. So this is an N of 1 asset run by an N of 1 founder. We've got 1 billion users in Telegram. Okay. And the second differentiation is that, TON is not yet available in the United States. And hence it's so little known. TON is not yet listed on the largest crypto exchanges in the United States, such as, Coinbase or Robinhood. Actually, on Monday, we announced that Coinbase Ventures is already an investor in Toncoin. And, the best is yet to come, I would say. And then thirdly, I would point out that, while, and I've known Michael Saylor for something like 5 years and been to his 100K party in Miami this past 2 years, a wonderful midlife crisis. I mean, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, I would say. He's pioneered the segment. But, we have since not only seen, of course, the Bitcoin treasury companies, but also other digital asset treasury companies. And we've learned a lot, right? And I think we can basically do it faster, given that we're standing on the shoulders of giants. Yeah. This is a winner takes most game, in my humble experience. Saylor and MicroStrategy, now Strategy, are roughly 30 times bigger than the number 2 Bitcoin treasury company. And the others, of course, can also do very well, but I don't think they can catch up. And we've seen in Ethereum, for instance, how Bitmine, BMNR, has basically, outdone Saylor at being Saylor. In the last 45 days, the stock is up something like 15 times. And of course, Ethereum also has done well. It's sort of doubled. But 15 times in 45 days is pretty compelling. Yeah. And hopefully we can do even better. And I can explain why.
Well, I'll tell you, this has been absolutely fascinating to watch. And as you mentioned, Michael Saylor started it, and then people saw the success. There are some people who think the strategy could be the biggest company in the world based on their Bitcoin holdings at some point. So explain to me why TON, why the Telegram play?
Right. As I said, what is really important to understand that this is highly differentiated and unique. And again, basically, if you look at the global landscape, right? Telegram is the number 6 app or so in the world by monthly active users. So there's, 6 of them, and Telegram is number 6. Let's talk about the 5 which are bigger and ask the question, which of them are integrating with blockchain? We've got WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram so far haven't been really allowed. And, Zuckerberg has been on air saying he might go back into stable coins, but, we're certainly not afraid of that. And then you've got 2 Chinese ones. One is, Tencent's WeChat, and Tencent became Asia's most valuable corporation with over $1 trillion peak market cap, also not allowed. And then you got ByteDance, which owns TikTok, right? So including those 5, Telegram is the biggest, the number 1 that does it. It's live, it's deployed. The Telegram wallet, the crypto wallet, is integrated natively into the app. It's almost like Venmo. If you gave me, Jane, your Telegram handle right now, I can zap you Toncoin or stable coins or any other digital asset that lives on the Ton blockchain, within a basically second or less for a fraction of a penny. And, no other basically blockchain has the same distribution. Bill Gates in the late 90s said something quite profound, a very famous phrase by now. He said, content is king. And who am I to disagree with Bill Gates in the late 90s? Of course, I also believe that content is king. But distribution is the queen, and she's wearing the pants, at least in my household. The point is, Telegram's got distribution. And I think that will be basically the unique differentiator for Ton. It is the exclusive blockchain partner for Telegram. And I can, explain further what this means, but basically it's a very big differentiating factor.
Yeah, no, it's fascinating. And the people who are on Telegram tend to be, it was crypto people who introduced me to Telegram years ago.
Great.
So they really have been involved in the crypto industry for a while. Okay, explain to me what this means for the company and then what it would mean for Telegram users, because I guess they would both kind of play off of each other.
Yeah, for the companies, it's hugely exciting. The company, of course, was under very strong management before. It was a hugely exciting company before. And, crucially, what we really liked about the company, not only, of course, that its business is also in the digital commerce realm, so that's sort of adjacent, but also that the company was basically, very clean, very well run, and especially was what we call S3 eligible. And so I think the speed at which we can execute is going to be different. And what this means for shareholders is hugely exciting. I mean, the stock has already done pretty well, but, far cry from, I guess, its potential, and also compared to what other, leading, in its ecosystem leading digital asset treasury companies have done. And that point I can't stress enough. As you know, in MicroStrategy, it's probably the winner in Bitcoin. But if you look at, Ethereum, there's a race. We admire, Tom Lee and the Bitmine team. Again, they've done extremely well. But there's a race, right? There's Sharplink Gaming, Joe Lubin. There's Ether Machine, and there's lots of others, right? In Ton, there is no second best.
You're the only
Ton
one, yeah.
company.
Well, and I've heard some companies are doing XRP too, Ripple. So I think, we're going to be seeing more of this. Now, you did mention Ton is not in the US yet. Do you expect that to happen? And what will that mean for growth?
Absolutely. I mean, of course, technically with our NASDAQ listing now, for the very first time, US investors, whether retail or institutional, can basically participate in the dynamism, the economic, the growth of the Telegram, user base and network through our, Ton treasury strategy. But, this is still an embryonic ecosystem. Again, I mean, it's no secret who are the largest spot exchanges in the US. And the fact that we're not listed there yet, of course, provides, a catalyst in the future, which is hugely exciting. And it's not only the US, it's also, South Korea, for instance. We're also not yet listed on the largest crypto exchange in South Korea. And so I guess, my point is, we're also so much smaller and hence have so much more potential. I think Ethereum is something like 50 times larger in terms of market cap compared to Ton. And Solana, but there's also a race in the treasury companies, by the way, is something like 12 times larger. I think, it could well play out a little bit like the Magnificent Seven eventually, that there's going to be a handful, whether it's 5 or 7, I can't tell you, but a single-digit number of trillion-dollar protocols. Bitcoin's at 2 trillion. I think Bitcoin's going higher, right? But if Bitcoin goes to 4 trillion, it's just doubled, right? Yeah. Ethereum should be a $1 trillion protocol by now, but it's roughly at $500 billion, and that will be, again, a double, right? Yeah. Solana would be closer to a 10x. But for Ton, the delta is so much bigger. It'd be more like something like, 50 times. And so that's what we're here for, right? If you believe, like I do, that Ton is in that group, given, in my humble judgment, we might have more users than Ethereum and Solana combined, given our distribution with Telegram, then you got to look at the stock.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's all over the world. Telegram is. So now, and of course, the US has a very crypto-friendly administration. So, that would make sense that they would bring on more of these cryptocurrencies, especially ones that are backed by well-known brands and things like that. So, do you think you might be lobbying the White House, or will you be trying to?
Well, I mean, we're definitely gonna, we appreciate, of course, the let's say recent change in the stance by the new administration towards crypto. I live in London, and the Winston Churchill was right after all. He said, "America will always do the right thing, but only after all other options have been exhausted." I think we've been now through that. And look, I think this is well in the geopolitical and national interest of the United States. The Telegram effectively provides provides free speech on the internet, the First Amendment, right? And I think the founding fathers have thought about that. And what Ton really provides is the property rights layer. Like, who owns what? It's almost owning a very small piece of the new world, right? I affectionately call it Satorica. For your American audience, if you don't know why America is called America, let me explain. You might know the part that it was named in honor of Amerigo Vespucci, the Florentine Italian explorer. Mm-hmm. And that much is true. But, Vespucci was a European gentleman, so he was not so full of himself to name it himself after himself. It happened to be a random German cartographer, a map maker from my village, true story, originally from Germany in the Black Forest. And basically, his name was Martin Waldseemüller, the Latin name Hyla Cumulus, which is my Telegram handle. So I give that much away. And, he wasn't very special, but he did make the map in 1507, the first one, and asked the question, what should we call this place? Who found it? Amerigo found it, which wasn't even true. Doesn't matter. And here I call this Satorica. Basically, we're on the Mayflower right now. And, people basically can participate in the American dream without actually leaving their physical location. They can get US dollars. And that's clearly in the national interest of the United States without, just by pressing a button. And I think that's really powerful. And I think only will be fully understood in the years to come.
Yeah. Oh, it's fascinating to see this. So how can people follow the company, how you're doing with this crypto play, and where can they go? Website, or what's a good place?
Yeah, of course, lots of sources. So the ticker is VERB, Verb Technology. And we, of course, have a website. We're in the middle of course, a rebranding. So, stay tuned to that. The company will be named Ton Strategy Co. And we have handles on social. Of course, I would be remiss to name X. So it's at Tonstrat, or my name, Manuel Stotz. But also, of course, maybe the best platform to follow us on in Telegram. And there we can, we have groups with like 10 million people in them. We've also been endorsed personally by Telegram's founder. And so I think, if you just, follow us there, then you can definitely stay tuned. But VERB is the ticker, Verb. And I look forward to engaging with the investor community going forward.
Okay, Manny, thank you so much for coming and sharing this news with us.
The pleasure is all mine, Jane. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank
all the
you.
best.